This thing talk to us now.
Wait for someone on the other end. You come to that meeting or at the Elks Fest.
Yeah,
6 o'clock.
you told me to.
I'm gonna get out of here.
Yep, 6 o'clock.
Okay, folks, it is 6 p.m. on Tuesday, April 28th, 2026. This is a special meeting of the Meyersdale Borough Council. We're going to discuss a little bit this evening about the High Street CSX bridge. It's in need of repairs. It's been recently, the engineers have given it another slight downgrade. So we're going to get into that tonight. There will be a special meeting held at the Elks Thursday night, May 7th at 7 p.m. where some of the politicians, CSX officials, and things like that will be there, in fact. So with that in mind, we'll call the meeting to order. And Patty, the roll call, please.
Mr. Ackerman.
Here.
Mr. Bear.
Here.
Mr. Christner.
Yeah.
Mrs. Nagy is absent. Mr. Irwin.
Here.
Mr. Munyon.
Here.
Mr. Smith is absent. Solicitor Valentine.
Here.
Mayor Smith is absent.
Okay, thank you, Patty. Guests or public comment? No guests, any public comment? So we'll move on to the discussions in order to prepare for the upcoming meeting. Mark, do you have anything to offer on that score?
Yeah, just to catch everybody up. If you remember the last time, for those of you that were on council, and this issue came up, CSX wanted the borough to close. I believe it was 2 to 3 crossings. One was Myers Avenue, I believe North and Clay were the 3 they wanted to close. And at that time, CSX did not commit to doing anything with the bridge and wanted to give the bridge to the borough. What they have done in other communities is they have rebuilt the bridge and then turned the bridge over to the borough. I would recommend that you don't look at closing any crossings, because if required, we had a public hearing on that. I think you were still on council.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a very good turnout that were against closing any crossings. And when it comes to the bridge portion, I think we should at least consider, if they're going to completely redo the bridge, build a new one, the borough having that. But I think the question becomes for PennDOT does the borough available for like any funding from their bridge funds that normally get sent out?
One of our concerns, and if you watched the last meeting, this was discussed somewhat. In fact, someone has requested that we have this meeting tonight. I'm not sure why we necessarily had to have it. But to recap what was discussed at the last meeting, like what Mark just said, I think the town would be adamantly opposed to closing any crossings.
Correct.
And we just need a new bridge. The reality of the situation is, I think it's 14 tons is the limit right now. And that was like that. It's been downgraded some time ago. And I don't know what a fire truck weighs. Someone said it weighs more than 14 tons, school buses. So our concern is we did not get a very favorable report from the engineers on the last inspection. And so consequently, council feels that we need to move forward with this special meeting. Again, it's going to be at the Elks. We'd urge everyone to attend Thursday night, May the 7th at 7 p.m. And as I say, we urge everyone to attend. But if this gets downgraded again, or say, for example, closed, then, and if there's a train blocking the entire 4 crossings in Meyersdale, then we really are in a hazard as far as how can the fire trucks or emergency vehicles get to the other end of town, North and High Street, if that's happened. So that's basically it in a nutshell. Karen has come in. She may want to make a few remarks on this, and then we'll adjourn. It should be a very short session here tonight. And I'd like to thank all council members for coming at this point. So, go ahead.
Before Karen goes, the main reason that I wanted to meet tonight is I think we need to have, the council needs to have a vote to agree what do you want to do with the bridge. Do you want CSX to just, rehab it, get it rebuilt, whatever, do they retain ownership? Does the borough want to entertain ownership if they redo it, and just go from there? Because once we have a path that the borough would like to take, then it would enable the other elected officials that are going to attend to be able to help us, PennDOT, et cetera, because they'll know exactly what we want. But if we go there without that kind of position, I think it's going to make it really unattainable, and I think we're actually going to lose the attention of those that come to the meeting.
Karen wants to retort, and then we can discuss what you just said, Mark.
Well, obviously, Bob and Jeff and I, when we were at the county meeting, I was approached by the county commissioners. They were very concerned about the bridge. And I'm hoping that we have the calculation on the bridge prior to this meeting. It is my understanding that, so the county won't take the bridge. And it is my understanding from some conversations that have been had with some officials I'm not going to name, that CSX really may entertain moving forward, getting this done. They've worked very well with other agencies when approached about this, if we take ownership of the bridge. So I think we need to seriously consider that. Another downgrade, I mean, the school's invited to this meeting, the fire department's invited to this meeting. There are concerns now with the tonnage in those vehicles. The other thing I wanted to bring up was 4 years ago, Ronnie, I think me and you were at those meetings, and Mark, you may have been too. We had 2 meetings. We had one out on South Side and one here with CSX. They talked about closing 2 crossings. I believe it was North Street and Myers Avenue permanently for a fee. And I just want to state, if that is suggested, my opinion is I would vote against that.
So would I.
Yeah, I think the only thing we're there to talk about next week is the bridge. And our immediate term issue is to get that pedestrian crossing, crosswalk back open for pedestrians so we don't have people walking out on the road. But I think we need to be prepared. This bridge has been there 80 years. I don't think we're gonna have a great way around it. I think we'll see what they say. So the agenda was created so that, we welcome everybody, then we're gonna let PennDOT give us a brief overview of the current status. And again, I'm hoping they have the calculations on the tonnage. We're at 14 now. We've been waiting since February. Then we're gonna let CSX speak and see what they're talking about. And then we're gonna wrap up with a timeline. Like, I would like to say to them, if everybody agrees, and this can come from Jeff or Mark or whoever, like, I would like them to put in writing what they intend to do within 30 days. Like, I would like to hold on. We're 4 years out and we're in worse shape than we were 4 years ago. We don't have any time to wait. So I think we really ask for a timeline.
Yeah, I think like an action plan or an action plan.
That's right. Yep. Milestones, because, if they agree to do it, but we're gonna have to, like I say, be ready to say quickly if we'll take the bridge. And
It's on to.
we'll have to get back to them, but we'll meet the next week. So we'll be able to discuss that. But I think we need to be firm with the timeline. Because I don't understand all this exactly, but there's a TIP, what they call it, which is the action plan for PennDOT. And if we're not on that, if I understand this all, if we're not on that by October, then we're not on the plan to go into development for like 4 years or something crazy. And we don't have 4 years. So.
2 things I would say here, I do agree with Karen that we need to put this on the top shelf, see where the meeting goes Thursday night. Is it necessary for us to get the federal government involved? as far as our two state senators and our representative, and maybe go to the Trump administration with the Department of Transportation. I mean, this has a potential to be a very serious, catastrophic situation for our borough. So I think we all agree with that. I am absolutely positively opposed and would not vote under any circumstances for the borough to assume this bridge. We're only passing a huge liability down to the community in the future council members. So why on earth, 85 years from now, people will be sitting somewhere and in the same situation that we are now. And then if we own the bridge, I mean, it's a huge liability for the borough. I mean, CSX owns it. We do our share as far as paving the top of it, and but I think it's just their responsibility, and we have to continue to move forward. A meeting like Thursday night, and we may need to go and to the federal government.
Well,
I think
that's
that's
plan B.
ultimately what's. Go
That's-
ahead, Karen.
That's Plan B. We've already
Right.
discussed that. So there have already been preliminary conversations with people that have federal government connections. So next week's meeting is just initial, put all our cards on the table and stuff, but those contacts have already been reached out to. Pat's been invited, Carl's been invited. I don't know if they're coming or not. But that's Plan B.
We had previously met with Ron,
Mhm.
and I believe he was a part of the Casey administration. I think it's correct. But he was was he a congressman before? I can't remember.
He was,
Um,
and now he's a lobbyist.
And I think that, those are avenues that maybe could be pursued.
Well, let's start. We'll go around the table, and each of us can give their thoughts. I would be interested in hearing each council member as far as, do you feel that we should in any way, shape, or form agree to assume ownership of the bridge? I'd like to hear your remarks on that. And then afterwards, maybe we can make some kind of a motion that, like Karen did indicate, we will have council's direction to proceed on Thursday night, the 7th at 7. So Clarence, what do you think? Give us your 5-minute
I think
speech.
we should make them replace it. It's theirs. They're the whole road. I don't care if they go different routes, they could put a tunnel in, fill it in. And you'd have to never rebuild it again. So. But I say we don't give them nothing. No street closings.
So Clarence does not want to assume the bridge and under any circumstances, and no
No,
level grade
that's
crossing.
theirs, they can have it.
Anything else?
No.
Jeff?
I think CSX should be responsible for the bridge. And then agree no closing of the streets. Yeah.
Ron?
I agree that CSX needs to do the bridge. We don't take control of it. If something happens later down the road, 10 years, where are we coming up with money, So I say CSX puts the new bridge in and no closing of any crossings.
I echo those two. Bob?
I agree that CSX should replace their bridge and get it up to standard so there isn't any accidents. We shouldn't assume control. And for what it's worth, I think we should bring the inspection that Patty has with the photos of the damage in the inspection to the meeting. And also, that bridge is a necessity to get to the upper part of this side of Meyersdale for emergency vehicles and school buses. So that's vitally important, and I think Jeff already mentioned that. That's the only way up there.
To piggyback on what you're saying.
Yes.
I think that bridge is a part of our emergency response plan if we had a train derail with it. where the trains would cross that also.
And that's our ace in the hole, is the PUC will get excited when we talk about that.
Karen?
And I would put it on.
No, that's fine.
I'm concerned about the urgency. We probably should have been working harder on this the past couple of years. The bridge is in really bad shape, obviously. I don't want to own the bridge either, but I don't think the county will take the responsibility. They have bridges that they don't have the money to maintain. I just worry if CSX says that's the only way. I mean, are we prepared to quickly litigate and light this up? Because we're years getting a bridge bill. So if we're gonna litigate and they have a lot more money than us, like, are we gonna sit here and litigate for 3 or 4 years? And will the government do the litigation for us? I mean, yeah, I don't wanna own the bridge either, but, you know, depending on EAD's calculation, I mean, I'm not speaking for them. I'm concerned we don't have a calculation since February. I think they're struggling to come up with what they're gonna do. What are we gonna do if EADS comes back before the meeting Tuesday and closes the bridge?
Well, Karen, that's hypothetical, and
Oh,
if
it
that
sure
happens,
is.
then we'll deal with it. We don't get too far down a path that may not occur. But yes, we will have to deal and make another meeting. As you said, we're gonna be meeting in, what, 2 weeks? On May 12th.
Do you know what the average tonnage on all the fire trucks are versus the bridge? Okay, you don't wanna know that. And do you know what the tonnage is on a school bus? So today, so it's really not a hypothetical. We have issues today. And so,
But we don't want to scare the community either.
No.
That bridge is still passable and usable. I mean, people use it all the time. We don't want to say it's something bad's gonna happen and it
No.
falls, you know what I mean? It's not gonna fall over.
But they could close it at any
They
time,
could close it, but,
and you still don't have it.
and then we gotta come up with another plan to get up the hill for emergencies.
CSX had damaged the Washington Street Bridge down in Cumberland, Maryland. It was closed for some time. It was their bridge, and this has been years ago. Somehow the story I had was they backed a train up that had cars that were too high, but weren't supposed to go under the bridge, and it ruined it. Now, this is just what I heard today, someone was in the office today, retired from the railroad, and indicated that CSX did finally fix that bridge and it's open. I don't know if that's true or not, but it was closed for many, many years. Had you heard anything about this Washington Street Bridge open down there?
I don't know if it's open or not.
And so people, of course, that wasn't as vital a link to Cumberland as what this is to Meyersdale. So I would suggest,
It's just a very serious situation that we really need to move on, is my point.
so I think it seems like everybody in the room does agree that we don't want to close any level grade crossings. And it seems like there's certainly a large majority that does not want to assume ownership of the bridge. So with that in mind.
The only thing I would add, when you call for a motion,
Mhm.
is, that we get a action plan, or corrective action plan, however you want to term it, from CSX. And that we need it at a minimum to be restored to whatever tonnage it needs to be for fire trucks and everything else to cross, for the necessities. What is the tonnage?
The current tonnage is 14.
Okay, put up fire trucks. Okay.
But I would say this too, and Mark, you can retort. I mean, it's not like the former council just sat here in our hands. We knew there was a problem probably 6 or 7 years ago, and through our solicitor, we have been contacting CS. It's been going back and forth. So, I mean, we've been doing everything pretty much through our solicitor. We did have a meeting with CSX officials in the past, but that was more regarding the emergency access road. And they wanted us to close crossings. And then they were gonna give us some amount of money. I don't remember what it was anymore, but I do know it wouldn't have been near what we would have needed to have built that emergency access road, which council did itself. So that I just throw that out there too, that nobody assumes that we weren't aware that there is a problem. And right, Mark, you
Well,
been going on this?
this most recent downgrade is
Correct.
what triggered this.
Right,
And that level, I think it's a level 3, is fairly, I think it's actually called a severe level with some of the components. That's what has triggered this now. And that
Correct.
changed since our last time we
Right.
dealt with this.
so, but we have been in contact back and forth with CSX. They're aware of our concerns here through our solicitor. And that's been going on for 4 or 5 years, back when I
A
was
little
on
bit longer,
before.
yeah. It's gone from being a desire or an option to being necessitous. And now we're at the point where there's a fair chance they're gonna downgrade the bridge. It's already been downgraded several times. We're already past that limit. And that severe rating, I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, so that's why it's necessitous now.
Could we have a motion, something to do with, I think, the level grade crossings and also with the bridge? What is council's wishes, at least to present to the meeting on May the 7th at the Elks at 7 PM? So Karen wants to make a motion or
I make
speak?
the motion that we not agree, it's a non-negotiable on closing any crossings in the borough.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's a unanimous vote. Now the bridge. Well, would someone might want to wish to make a motion that the majority of council members here would vote for, that we at this time have no intention, at this time have no intention, or we don't have the desire to allow the borough to assume ownership or liability of this bridge for now and in the future.
I will make that motion. And if, you know, if they try to force, saying, well, we'll close the bridge and all that, we can go up Light Street and come down to as far as the bridge and pick up school students and things like that, so. But I make the motion that, that we do not take control of the bridge, that's their puppy.
Is there a second?
I'll second that one.
Okay, Patty, let's do a roll call vote on this one, please.
Mr. Ackerman,
Yes.
Mr. Bear,
Yes.
Mr. Christner,
Yes,
Mrs. Nagy,
Until we hear what they propose, I'm gonna say no.
Mr. Irwin,
Yes.
Mr. Munyon,
Yes.
and that's all there is, yeah.
Okay, so it's 5-1. Then just to go back to what you said here, Ron, just as a discussion. If the bridge is closed and if there's a train blocking all crossings, I mean, how are we gonna get from this end? You're not gonna be able to use the emergency access
Right.
road. You'll be able to get out.
Jeff, if they bring up the discussion of closing that bridge, that's when we have to kick it in high gear with not only the PUC, probably the FRA, which is the Federal Railway Administration, and also with our congressmen and senators, and whatever else we can.
The commissioners already have a contact through Schuster's office, and Schuster has contacts, and he's already spoken to the federal people. So
I think this meeting tonight, we accomplished some things. We now know officially where everyone stands. And in addition to that, we're raising awareness on Thursday night again, so we'd urge everyone watching on our YouTube station to come to the Elks, 7 PM. It's a public meeting. Did you want Dan to video that or not?
It's up to him. I do have one
I'm
request.
free to do it.
The Elks waived their fee, but they're gonna have, their kitchen's gonna be used, they're setting it up, they're tearing it down. I would like to ask if we could, out of our $500 budget, if we could make a donation and give them a check Thursday night for $100 for hosting for us. I would like to do that, just as.
Okay, and that's a motion
Yes.
and a second. Jeff nods a second, Clarence a third. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? That's unanimous. It is 6:29. Is there anything else? I think this was a good meeting. We really can't discuss too much else unless we amend the agenda. So if there's nothing else, I'll ask a motion to adjourn at about 6:29. Okay, we'll give it to Jeff and Ron. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Thank you very much.
Go Pens tomorrow night.
Yeah, hopefully.